the thriller of vanilla.
Forget about the presidential debates. Tonight's the debate that matters most. For these two guys are what's behind that glass we break in case of emergency. Who are they? Tim Pence, Mike Cain. Sorry, Mike Pence, Tim Kaine. Or is it Mike Tim, Pence Cain? Not that it matters. 4 out of 10 people don't know them anyway. Even though this is the heartbeat away crew. This guy or this guy. What do we know about him? They're white men, of course. In fact, they're so vanilla, you're tempted to scoop them onto a slice of apple pie. One has a musical mouth. And one has a dirty mouth.
This really is fun to watch, I'll tell you what.
Neither choices were picked by the candidates. Hillary wanted her, and Trump wanted him. Cain and Pence, these mild extras from Allstate commercials, were picked to calm a country worried about the other two. On a menu that serves only raw carp, Cain and Pence, they're the chicken fingers. So the debate will be those two fellas defending their guy or gal. Cain will say Hillary isn't corrupt. Pence will say Trump isn't nuts. For they are the mousy spouses to their harsh partners. When their significant other is puking into a planter at a party, it's up to the Cains and the Pences of the world to say, he didn't mean that, or sorry, she's not feeling well. Better halves are boring, but necessary. Last, these VPs are religious, so the presidential choice doesn't have to be. They secularized the campaign. So instead of debating over abortion or gay marriage, we've moved on to more vital stuff, like sex tapes and overweight beauty queens. Glad we finally got to what matters. All right. So, Dana.
Yeah.
There's only one debate for the VP candidates. Is that one too many?
I think that one is just plenty.
Yes.
One is just plenty. I think it's good. It's interesting that these two, the vice presidents are usually the attack dogs.
Right.
But they don't need to be in this case. As you're pointing out, they just need to be the calmer ones. For both Cheney and Biden, those choices, I think, really were meant to help counterbalance and show some gravitas. But they were also really good attack dogs. Cheney, in particular, I think, was very good at it, and especially when it came to John Edwards in that debate, which really helped George W. Bush because, as Eric was pointing out yesterday, the person who usually wins the first debate isn't all, well, 75% historically, they don't end up being the president.
You are in so much trouble on Twitter now.
Why? I've said that from the beginning.
I know, but Twitter just lights up. Oh, I can't believe you said that. I don't care about Twitter. I can't believe you're in the tank for this one. You're out of your mind. Don't you know this one was leading before you went in? I've never opened up more cans of, a bigger can of worms than that
Twitter worms.
Whiteboard yesterday. I'm sorry.
Okay, so my point was going to be that 43 was largely seen to have lost that first debate in the re-election. And he gets off stage and he thinks he's done just fine. And the staff is like, oh, sir, that was not a good debate. Like, what are you talking about? He goes down in the polls, and John Kerry, that race was very close. John Kerry starts doing better. What really helped stop the slide in the polls was Cheney's debate against Edwards because he destroyed him, and that actually stopped the slide, and then he was able to get his way back.
All right, all right, all right. Eric.
You somehow made this interesting. I'm looking all day going, what am I going to do tonight? But
go ahead.
It's almost like Trump and Hillary are pizza and chicken wings, and these two are the veggies. You got to have that. No matter who you end up voting for, you want to make sure that they have some stability across, and you're comfortable with, as you point out, one heartbeat away from the presidency with both of them. I think they're both going to be very measured. They'll probably both try and engage the other one in bringing the top of the ticket into the debate, and they'll both probably push back on that and say, certainly what I would do is stay with us.
I think it could get fiery, and I think that abortion and gay marriage absolutely will come up tonight.
That's what I was going to ask Juan, because you notice no social issues between when they have Trump and Hillary. It's only been one debate, though, but because these are religious, and one of them has modified, Cain has modified his beliefs to fit the party, which is kind of hypocritical. Pence is still anti-gay marriage. This could be
right, and Pence, of course, had the religious freedom deal in Indiana that was essentially canceled out by the large corporations in Indiana, which said this is in opposition to our gay rights agenda, and you can't do that. But the abortion issue has not come up. And later in the show, we're going to talk about Obamacare. Obamacare hasn't come up. I imagine that also Pence is going to have to defend the wall and defend Trump on immigration, even though Pence has not been a supporter of what Donald Trump has put forward on immigration, like banning Muslims from coming into the country. To my mind, what's so interesting about this is these are the party regulars. Kaine actually was the head of the Democratic National Committee and a tremendous fundraiser. Pence is a guy that's beloved by the Republican establishment, especially evangelicals. I think for them, he will be the guy that could excite them, that could get them going in support of Trump. Right now, they're just kind of like, yeah, I guess we got to go with Trump because we don't like Hillary. But he could actually excite some fires.
Yeah, I think he's got, a couple of important jobs to get done tonight, Pence does. I think, yes, he's got to perhaps, excite or motivate the base, but also some reassurance to say, look, I'm with this guy, I'm with Trump. For those of you out there that, trust me, trust the type of politics, the ideology that I bring forward, conservatism, a focus on religion and First Amendment and whatnot, you can trust me. And also the guy that I'm with isn't somebody who's a misogynist or has issues with women. I think he's going to try to do some of that to kind of coat the ticket in acceptability.
Right.
And then in terms of Kaine, I think he's going to say, listen, promise you, I pinky swear that Hillary's not going to put a for sale sign up on the Oval when she gets in and influence peddling, and that you can trust her. So I think that's a little bit of what they need to get done.
Could I add one other thing about the importance of this?
One more thing?
Well, not till the end of the show. But I do think, given the fact that the Senate races are so close right now, it does look like the Republicans are going to be able to hold on. But there is a scenario, a very real one, that you could have a 50-50 Senate, which means that one of these two people would be the Vice President of the United States, and that position becomes so much more important in any scenario where there's a deadlock in the Congress.
Ugh. So can I ask a very, very legitimate question? And I don't know the answer. Is this a debate to find out who these two are, or is this a debate to find out how these people support their candidate? How do they support number one? I don't know. I mean, I guess it's going to come down to the debate moderator deciding which way to go after it, because I would rather know what Kaine and Pence are about rather than how they're going to how Pence is going to defend some of the things that he doesn't agree with Donald Trump on, and how Kaine will defend some of the things he disagrees with Hillary Clinton.
I think that's why it's going to cancel. I have a feeling there's going to be a canceling out because of that. I hear noise. I think Trump is coming out.
Of your ear? Of your ear?
Out of my ear. He's coming out of my ear. It's a weird disorder. All right. I have. What do you think will come up then? Speaking of coming up.
Yes, exactly. Coming up, the debate. I think it's actually going to be exciting to watch. I think people have this kind of weird low expectation of it, and I think that's the wrong way to go.
I think it could be
exciting. That it's going to be fiery, and I think that they've got to prove themselves here and try to do the best that they can. Especially, I think Pence has to try to pick up some steam and some momentum that people felt that Donald Trump should have been able to get from the last debate and kind of make up for.
And one of the ways that he can do that is to try to hit some of the missed opportunities that we talked about with Donald Trump in terms of the foundation, the emails, etc. And also I think Pence has a little bit of an interesting walk, but I think he stands to benefit from the fact that Donald Trump is the outsider candidate. He's the out-party candidate. So how do you, as Mike Pence, who was an insider but then left and was governor, what do you know how to fix Washington? He'll be able to say that.
Yeah, join the ticket of change.
I just hope Kaine brings his harmonica.
Well, I tell you what, I think both of them are basically, this is like the guy who's the street sweeper after the circus. I mean, they have to clean up a mess. And in the case of Kaine, he's got to humanize Hillary Clinton, get back to what the Democratic Convention did. And in the case of Mike Pence, I think he's got to explain birthers, racism, bigotry, anti-Muslim stuff.
But the other thing is, 40% of the electorate can't name either candidate.
But that's true that 40%. I don't think that if you do those tests, like how many people can name the current vice president?
Yeah.
And you get about a similar percentage, right?
The current vice president can't name the current vice president.
No, yes.
That's a joke. I love Joe Biden. That is our current vice president.